Hi, I'm Sharon Pederson, and I'd like to share with you a quick way to make snowball blocks. Now, snowball blocks are usually used with an alternate block, and they create sort of interesting secondary designs when all of the blocks come together at the corner. And if you're making a large quilt, you may have to make, well, let me just say 20 of these. And so for 20 blocks times 4, you're going to have to make 80 of these little triangles and sew them onto a bias corner, but that's not a good idea, is it? So instead, okay, what I normally do is, and my block is a little bit smaller, but when I want to make a snowball block, instead of cutting a triangle to put on the corner, I cut a square. And of course, if you're going to sew on this diagonal here, that means for all of these, and didn't I say I needed 80 of them? First, I would have to take a ruler and draw a line so that I had a stitching line to follow. But that's tedious too. So instead, what I do is, on my sewing machine, I put the needle down, holding onto the thread so it doesn't unthread itself. Put the needle in the down position, but leave the foot up. And then I take my masking tape, I line up the edge of the masking tape with the edge of the needle and keep it as straight as possible. And on the bed of some sewing machines, there's a line to indicate where the center is when your needle is in the center position. But if yours doesn't, you're going to keep this as straight as possible. And then you remove the tape from the feed dog area because you don't want to stop the feed dogs from working. There we go. Now, instead of having to draw a line, and I'm not going to use that one because it does have a line, right sides together, put the square on the corner of your snowball block, line up the corner perfectly with the needle, gently put the presser foot down, and then this side you're going to line up with the edge of the masking tape, and you're going to follow this. You're not going to be looking up here, you're going to be looking here. So let me just get started, and I'll get my finger out of the way so you can see. Okay, now I'm watching here, I'm not watching the needle, and so I now have a perfect diagonal from corner to corner. And so the next step would be to trim that off. So lining up the 1/4 inch mark on my ruler, I now have, ta-da, the first corner of the snowball block. And of course I would just repeat that 4 times for all 4 corners of each block. So instead of wasting all that time with a ruler and a pencil marking those diagonals, you can just do it with a piece of simple masking tape on your sewing machine. So I hope you found that useful.